If you clicked on this video, then you likely suck at League of Legends, or you think that you could do a little bit better. Both of those are answered in this video because I simplify every concept of jungling and even BRIAR, really. So enjoy this build and rune page that you can completely mimic, do everything, not have to worry about, isolate that so that you can figure out how to play League. Enjoy. Now that we're in the game, we are doing the rules of no brain build. What's the point of this build? Who's it even for? It's for the people that maybe they're just getting into League. Maybe the title says if you suck at League, you don't have to suck to play this build. But I'm going to do it with Conqueror and PTA because both of them really don't need too much for you to interact with, right? It's like Conquerors just do anything and you'll get the benefit. And PTA is basically the same thing on BRIAR, but sometimes people argue that there's more combos that way, but either way, the point is we are doing Bork by Cleaver into Sterix and probably Spear Visage GA, but you could do Death Dance in that third slot if you wanted to. And we're going to just path down. We're going to take Green Smite. Green Smite is just a shield. And as BRIAR, that's kind of a good thing. Don't forget that. Right? She does take damage. If you don't know much about BRIAR, she takes a lot of damage. And so we are going to yeah, we're going to take Green Smite, we're going to path downwards, we're going to build the same build, and we're going to take this rune page, and that's it. And when you're ready to take on more challenges with BRIAR, we're here. We are here for you. But this is just for someone trying to get into it. You want to isolate your gameplay a little bit. You want to get away from thinking about, like, enemy, you want to get away from thinking about your build and all those things, and you want to start thinking more about what the enemy's doing and being able to focus on stuff like this, because you take a lot of the other decisions out of League, and that's where that's where the game gets kind of complicated, is when you have to do, oh, my perfect itemization, oh, perfect pathing, oh, perfect that. It's like, isolate a few things, work one thing at a time. So we had a ward there. That word means that Udyr did red, Krug's Raptors, and now he's just swapping over and doing the same thing as me. So whatever I'm doing, he should be on the exact same thing, just on the opposite side of the map. And until one of us gets an advantage based on that, you really don't have much to think about, which is cool. Now, what's awesome about jungle now is that I know that he'll be topside, so if I'm hitting Gromp, he's hitting Gromp. We're just going to throw some pings for my top laner. That means I can go directly to this crab, and I don't have to worry about any counter ganks at all. Because if he was to just be bot lane here and, like, make me a liar, well, the idea is that him doing that would be so turbo inefficient that we would win regardless. My mid really wants a gank here. You can see, man, that Yasuo champ's irritating him, it seems, but he'll be just fine, trust me. So now I'm going to start hitting my crab, and one cool thing that you can start doing if you don't take sweeper, you can actually just ward his raptors like this. Super useful. Because then you can see what he does the next time. He won't take that gank. I'm going to take this ward, and we're going to go for Yasuo maybe. Yeah, nice. Should be GG. Nice. Now we have this guy. This guy's going to kill my Victor. I'm going to put him into the wall to try and save my Victor. I'm just going to send all my cooldowns. He's taking the one kill that he can get and letting that be the thing. We're going to kill him. We can't stop ourselves from hitting this wave. He's upset about that. I know it. But it is what it is. Yasuo actually teleported. Now, you should just take the recall here. I'm going to get far enough away from Yasuo that I don't get punished. And if these camps were up, like if my Raptors were up, I'd probably just be hitting them. But you do need to get that recall off ASAP. So let's go ahead and get that done. And we're going to send it through. Now, you have home guards. Home guards are this thing. It's just movement speed, running out of the base, as long as you're running to your next minion wave. So I'm not going to cut through. You can see the line where it ends. I'm not going to cut through the jungle to get here faster because that movement speed stacks up a lot. And we're actually just going to clear our camps the exact same way. And one of the best things that can start like climbing you in League is actually learning that if you only take plays, which means like you only gank for your laners, when all your camps are dead, you're going to be super strong, but there is risk in it. Of course, it's not one size fits all, where you'll be super strong because you'll likely outfarm every other jungler because, that's like the discipline of it. But, you do have to, if you're going to farm a ton, you do have to know that you have to, you have to make big plays, really. So you can't just like, farm all your camps and then recall, farm all your camps, recall, farm all your camps, maybe show top lane, don't get a kill. It's like you actually do need to be able to like teeter on the side of like, okay, I'll sacrifice a few seconds of my camps to do this thing. Now, one thing that is super out of meta right now is rushing dragons. So, again, if I'm on Grump, he should be on Grump. Him not being on Grump means that he skipped his Grump. And that would mean that he'd be topside. And with him being topside, that means that I should be able to go to Dragon here uncontested. Now, he skipped his, which is awesome for us. Because now that's one more thing that we're ahead on.
I might be a weapon.
Let's see where he's at. If we can just hit mid here. I'm just walking at this play, mostly just because he's low. If this was bot lane, I would go to bot lane. Let's see if I can just catch him with this W. Udyr could be here, and this play could go badly, but I'm gonna hope that we can make it work. Oh, he had wind wall. He can't make it back to the turret. My Victor's actually pushing. I can try and deny them this. See if we can find him here. They are going to whoop my ass for a moment here. And again, the only thing that matters is me getting back to my camps, right? Do I try it again? Okay, they're not here. They fully ran back. Now, what did I do there? That was more advanced. I don't recommend that you guys try and do that. He actually didn't recall, by the way. That is so sick. So the main thing that's in my head is I want to cycle all my camps ASAP, and I think you guys should follow suit with that and then look for ganks in between those timers. Of course, I can say that there will be games where you're not able to do that, and it just is what it is. But to help you try and start seeing the, you know, the result of some of your plays, especially like annoying them there, because I annoyed them there, because one, it was funny, but two, because I had a good feeling knowing my champion that they couldn't stop me. But my Victor actually got to, so he got ganked, right? He was super low, and then that's when I came in. So he wanted to recall to get his health back, and if you can get your teammate a recall, then that means that they don't lose something, and they're more inclined to not type to you, which is real. But, you know, getting them a recall is really big in his world. You know, it's like, you know, I'm unintentionally helped the other guy at work, right? I went into this business and I helped the worker by having everything that I needed right then and making his day a lot easier, and that's basically what we did. That's awesome. People appreciate that. Not to talk to you about life, but yes, so it was impactful for him, and we haven't really interacted with top and bot lane lately, and like, there's always the world that maybe had I been bot or top during some of these plays that there's like some potential benefit, and that's true, man. That's for you to kind of find out. Currently, I'm just doing what I think is best, where I see low health targets and I run straight to them, because based on what I've learned playing this game, going towards the full health targets usually results in less kills than going towards the low health ones. So, you know, it's not to say that every time that going towards a low health target I will get, you know, the implied benefit, but it's worth noting that, you know, just the likelihood of it happening is real. Nice. Now, before you start dragging, you have to imply what would happen. What is the worst case scenario? What will happen, but also what could happen? Now, the odds of enemy jungler taking your raptors are very high, right? Because of the closest, you know, camp to their side of the map. So when I look at the minimap and I see all my, you know, all my timers, I see that my Krugs are up, but I have 50 seconds before my Raptors, so I'm not too upset about this. Excuse me, sorry. I actually need to pull this out. I don't have smite. I didn't expect them to try and play for this. You can walk the dragon to the end of this circle, and works out for you. Now I do need to recall here. But yeah, so the odds of your Krugs getting taken are super low. He would have to walk past another camp to take that one. The odds of someone doing that, not very realistic. So you would assume that, you know, he'd probably do grubs here. So you have the choice. Do I go to my like and subscribe where the ping mic never comes back Krugs, and I, you know, just path down and accept that those grubs are already gone? Or do I try and make it to them? Now, I was actually pathing to try and make it to them. It didn't work out. That's okay. We do win this. It's not even close. It's not a question of if we win it, which seems valuable to him, but if I can make it in time based on what he does. It seems like I might have. Flash on low health target. You know what we do. Now, right here is a tough one where, like, do you go to Crab or Krugs? Usually it doesn't really matter too much. But Crab is more important, and if there's any chance that Udyr would get this grab, you'd be very mad at yourself, so not do that. Yeah, you can actually see like the basis of jungling is actually like pretty chill. It's pretty chill. Like to get this guy's pinging that he's going to run it down, so I have to try and help him maybe. Nice. And right there, that's a point where not listening to your team is actually a good thing, and you need to balance that, because had I not listened to my Victor spam pinging, I would have been faster in my clear. And you never know if the byproduct of me walking mid there is that now I don't make it bot in time for something else that'll happen later on. You know, you got to take a stance on some of these plays and know, you know, kind of what's more important to you, right? Like if me going mid puts my bot lane in jeopardy and my bot lane is the thing that I want to win, then maybe me walking there isn't important. But yeah, pretty standard stuff here, and like maybe jungle looks pretty simple this way, but let me tell you, man, if you do one camp out of order, it actually can make everything like super weird and awkward and make you kind of feel uncomfortable with the match, because you know then you're like, you know, if I have one camp here and two here, then I have to make a decision on which one to leave, and you know then it comes down to a lot of really annoying situations. So best thing I can really tell you is, you know, just really get your full clear down, watch the full clear guide, and you know make sure that you're doing this stuff very fast, because it's very worth your time. Oh, I missed the W over the wall because I'm a noob. Didn't buffer my W2. No lie, I'm a noob. That one's not on me. So you need minions to dive a turret, right? But we're trying to dive a tank, and that's kind of unnecessary, so I'm not going to do it. Now, you have your red buff and his red buff. Like, if he were to show top right now, we would know that we could take it, but do we actually want to take the fight at his red buff right now? To me, it seems like potential risk, because he has faster walk, he has a faster walk to the play, and, oh man, an ass whooping is soon to become. Yeah, smart on him. So, right there, it's like, a lot of people are like, well, should you have stayed then? You can't play on hindsight, right? I always knew the outcome of every single thing that I would do. I would play a lot differently than probably how I currently play, right? But, you know, you gotta just make the decision or err on the side of the things that have happened a million times, right? You know, like, the sun came up. There's no proof that the sun will come up tomorrow, but we assume it because it has happened so many more times, right? And that's you know, a rough, what do you even call it, analogy, if you will, for what just happened, where the amount of times that I have gone and tried to contest this red buff against a team has more than not paid off for them, where I die there and then I start throwing and then I get upset, right? The reality is that just going to my red buff has like no real drawbacks and no real risk, and risk assessment is like 90% of League, man. That's all it is. So, you know, sometimes you have to get a little crazy with it. That's real, especially in games that you're behind. Like, sometimes you got to try and just make that one big play to get your team back into it. This is not one of those games because of how consistent we're playing. You know, we're on, you know, we're 4-0, we're up farm, we're up neutrals. Well, not up neutrals. We're up dragons, which is good for our team fighting comp. So we have more impactful neutrals, I would say, but that's its own topic. Now, I need 1250 for my item, so I'm not going to recall, right? I'd rather give myself the chance to make that extra money. Right now, my team is nearby, so it feels decent to start this. Their team could walk, and looks like they might actually be, but I already swept here, so I feel pretty good. 1400 smite, and I can fly over this wall at any time. Nice. I'm going to guess that someone's over here. No. I'm going to use my sweeper to know what they know. See if I can have my own sneaky opportunity here. I got behind Yasuo, so he has no clue that I'm here. And just W2 at the last second, like always. He might die to bleed, so I'm not going to flash. Nice, he died to bleed. Okay, now I have 15 seconds before this Ripto. So I'm actually going to take the recall. Some games you'll have to stay. Sometimes you can greed leaving like this. The idea is that, you know, if you are scared of them like stealing it or just rushing it, then likely you would want to stay, show presence so that they couldn't start it. But right now, you know, with my bot lane here and we got the kill on Yasuo, the odds of them starting this are low. So we're just gonna send it. I don't have my smite just yet, but hopefully it comes up. I think how it works is after you auto-attack 3 times on Rift Herald, the back eye will spawn ASAP, but it has its own timer, so like 3 autos isn't just done, it's like 3 autos to confirm that it will happen ASAP. It does about 1,000, so what you can do is time your smite with that auto-attack that'll deal around 1,000, and like a really clean way for you to be able to like confirm it or, you know, steal it from enemy team. But yeah, so now we're 2 dragons and a Rift Herald to his just 3 grubs. And again, just to talk about farm, right? Because you can see, you've seen me do the same full clear how many times now? What, like 6 or 7? My bad, sorry. It actually though, you've seen me do this full clear so many times, but that's what this is. And how efficiently you do this gives you more time to do other things, to do more things, to be at plays, to be at neutrals. That's what we're doing here. So that's kind of what jungle is at a base for a lot of players, is like efficiency simulator. How efficient can you get at one task, and how much more efficient am I rather than the other guy at this said task? And that's what we're doing. So you can see I'm way more efficient than this guy, but it doesn't just mean that the game ends, right? I'm very strong, but the game is not over because of it. I can shoot a random R here. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, we missed. Check this. No Yone. The odds of us killing anyone here is pretty low. But we can at least get the minions for the wave. I'm taking this because no one else is around to it. Like, technically, we'd want Ashe to be getting this so that we're all getting money, but no big deal in this moment. Now, Rift Herald is basically a charge that you can use to just kill turrets from like a little bit under half. Grab our plated steel caps, go to our Sterix here. So when I see this turret and this turret at, you know, or this turret, even any of those outers, that means that Rift Herald's really good. Now the thing about champion damage, champions can kill one plate super fast, especially with the crystals. Crystals make you deal more damage to turrets on your first auto. So like the top turret and the mid turret are basically just one champion auto, so I don't feel the need to kill that one with it, but maybe I could kill the tier 2 behind it with Rift Herald. Could have saved your E for this, but I don't feel the need to. I know WQ kills, so that's good. Now again, you could Rift here, and then that turret will die, and then the next turret will get rammed into by Shelly, which is good. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to make sure that we're going to take mid turret too, and then see how much farm I can maybe get before this. So you can see the BRIAR icon right there. He's going to drive that into the next turret. He doesn't need to because Shelly would do it herself. But you can see, bam, you get the Void Mites, life is good. And when Shelly does that, we get paid. Life is good. You drop the Shelly, you get paid. So we're good. Now we're going to play for this dragon. I'm going, oh my god, I'm going to spend all my money before this dragon. Usually 20 seconds isn't enough, or 30 seconds isn't enough, but just one of those things, man. It's, you know, based on what you think they'll do, you can give yourself that timer, right? Like, I don't think that they're going to rush it, and I don't see a lot of potential benefit from being there so early, that spending for a little bit more combat power feels useful. I'm going to skip over my camps to deal with the crab. Victor wants me to just hop up, do blue buff so his life can be better, but he's actually pretty decent mana count, so I'm not going to waste time. This dragon soul means more than his blue buff. Especially because, again, their team is coming back onto the map, so we actually want this dead now because they're going to be in peak strength for them. They know that we're here, so I'm just going to keep sending it. Again, this team didn't punish us, but there's a world that they could have had a way bigger punish on that, and we just have to be prepared for it, right? So I have to do the right play. It is what it is. Plus him getting blue buff, no big deal. I just pick it up. No big deal. But again, right, he's doing things that are likely correct, right? when you think about Victor spam pinging about a blue buff, like it's likely, in most games, a good play or a net positive play to get blue buff before you take a fight. Well, we actually weren't going to fight them there because the timer was off if we just rushed it, right? So, you know, we wasn't trying to be annoying in grief. It just happened to come off that way because of the misunderstanding that he had. Got his flash. Don't like hopping into this fight right here because Ziggs is a poke champion, so if you're not engaging onto him, he's going to get a lot of value. Guy's having a rough game, huh? Thought you lacking. That's a pink ward that he was on, so what's he doing? They're onto my Ashe. No way I can join this fight. She kind of just got caught there. Is what this. She should be retreating to the most teammates that she has, which would be topside. And you can see she started kiting downwards. So Udyr went for my bot side camps. We already know that they're gone. It's no big deal. We were able to take his blue buff. These minions are just going to die to turrets, so you might as well take them. Boom. And it does kind of scuff your camps up a little bit because I did Raptors. Now I'm going to Krugs. So you can see I'm actually drawing a backwards line here, but it's really no big deal at this point in the game. This is when full clears become so fast that like you could clear them in any direction, do fine. Of course, you would prefer they'd be done in a line, but you can't always control it. You see, we're actually 10 CS a minute. This is what a lot of you guys like strive for. A lot of you guys want to CS as much, and you can see I haven't had to do the crazy strats where I have to take, you know, all my... I think it would be a good fight. I don't have to take all my laners' fights, their lane minions, to make sure that, you know, I go 10 CS a minute. Sometimes it is just doing your own thing. BRIAR's going to run me to him. I think I'm just going to let that happen. I can Q to this ward here to get a little bit closer. Nice. And you can see, sometimes I have to take a moment and think, you know, is this fight even good for me? So I'm going to take this recall here, grab my no magic mantle, and you can see, you can run this in high elo, do whatever you want, and even this rune page, now again, man, PTA is better. But Conqueror is easy for a lot of you guys to manage and not, I don't know, feel weird about it. Like PTA is absolutely not much management, but there's some times where it takes a little bit more to work with. And that is on the smallest scale possible, where like as you want to stack Conqueror, and like keep it stacked, it's likely the same amount of value as just you know, using PTA without like a WQ, but it's kind of fine. I'm showing both POVs, so it doesn't even matter. I am 1v2 for a little bit here, but it should be alright. Smite. Double up ultimate. Send it. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, as simple as can be, right? We're so far ahead that at this point we can kind of do whatever we want against Udyr. So we go, we steal his Gromp, it turns into 2v1. We have a good E angle, and then we ultimate straight from it. Do we actually have end? I guess I could go and entertain the fact that we... I don't think we do. I think we go Baron here. But it's better for me to be doing something. So I'm going to check for his stuff, and I should have been top lane the whole time now in hindsight. But my team's kind of trolling. They're trying to take a turret without minions, so what are these guys up to? I do not know. Now they've gotten rid of our ability to do Baron, so now we have to go back and play Dragon. So we definitely should have been at Baron. But no big deal. Huge. And again, standard stuff here. I haven't done anything that you can't do. This is just playing the game efficiently, and you should be aiming to play efficiently anyway. So this is a guide for that. So if the title is "If You Suck at League, Play This Build," now you don't suck at League. You're probably already way better. Because you have likely dealt with a lot of those thoughts that were likely wrong, like you have to do these things for your team. Ah, man. Most farm of the game. Starting the dragon usually isn't that good, but he's actually giving this because he thinks that they will lose the team fight. Because likely we caught off their Tark. So now we should go Dragon to Baron. Good, that's Dragon Soul. He's trying to pull the wave here. I assume he's going to run forward. If he doesn't, that's kind of not bad because it puts him in this choke for Ashe ult. We basically just have two of the same ults. I think that's close enough. Yeah, hello? I even checked the circle. But whatever, it's all good. I even checked the circle to see if he was in range. You can click a spell and you can see its range. And then you can like click and drag to decide. That was close. Good try. But yeah, now we're doing Baron because Tariq died. He's super far from his from the Baron because he has to run from base. And we chunked out Yone and Udyr a little bit to where they're likely just not able to play for this. Get the smite ASAP. I do want this blue buff, but I'm gonna get my last recall of the game basically done by a longsword because we're going Guardian Angel. And again, you could run this build into any team on Earth. The cool thing about this, it's 100 of each resistance, and it's over 3,000 health. That works against any team. Now, of course, learn itemization. Find better spots, but this is just a generic one-size-fits-all rune page and build for you guys. Let you focus more on the league side of things more than the every single nitty-gritty thing. A QE combo here. I feel like he's gonna ult, so I'm gonna try and block it. Nice. That's just me showing off some cool stuff BRIAR can do. You can kind of humble people super well. Now Yasuo's dead, or Yone's dead, so now we want to take as many inhibs as possible. Going potentially for end here isn't that good, like we should be here. But as you can see, my team is not playing very serious, so I will be the one to. And as I decide to go and get the minion wave, I'm also going to ping them away because I'm not there, and I could be with ult, but don't want to be left with the best play is I shoot ult to save the game. You don't want to be left there. I mean, to be honest, Gangplank could actually go to the bot side here to get that extra inhib. But again, this is how you slowly take a game of League away, get one inhib, get the next, and keep it moving. You can tell the people that just play lane phase and then want to FF if it's not a good game. It's like, man, we need these minions. But again, that's not as much to say I'm trying to put them down, but just to show you guys, a lot of people aren't playing League and trying to actively end the game in a positive way. Like, look at that guy. Look at my goat right here. Some people are just playing League to hit buttons. People just want to hit League of Legends buttons with their favorite champion. And to be honest, there's times where I'm in that mood too, but when I play ranked, I try and lock in a little bit. Green Smite Shield right now is 360. You can always use E to heal more because it costs 5% of current health and heals right now for 16% max health. Big difference. Auto Q auto, it's an auto attack reset, helps you deal more damage to turrets. Q to one of your minions and it resets it. You can Q to blast cones and every single thing in the game basically. Like again, like me hitting them would feel super cool, right? But me ending the game just by hitting these neutrals is much cooler. Plus LP is cool. Now I'm going to be patient as our minions get closer to the turret. They will effectively just keep killing them. I know let's flash hook the turret. Sorry, my boy. Nice. Whoa, Yone kill. GG. And what a perfect game for us. There you go. So there will be a second game where I tried to make this video with PTA, just to show you guys that one, and it ends pretty quick. So, you know, I'm still gonna attach it, but you're gonna likely hear some of the same yaps. But it's actually a really good game, so I urge you to stay and watch it. Who played insanely well? Honestly, give it to my solo lane. You know, I usually like teammates that don't type a lot, but is what it is. And yeah, King of all Udyrs, by the way, that's an Aura farm name. 15k damage, solid. We're up almost 6,000 gold. Damage taken, good. CC score is fine. And you can see Conqueror, it stacks damage, and then once it's fully stacked, it gives you healing. It only stat tracks the healing. So this gave me a lot of damage that you can't see, so keep that in mind. standard runes that BRIAR likes, and thank you for watching. Enjoy the second game, and hopefully you got a little bit better. Now that we're in game, I'm going to highlight a lot of the decisions that I think that you should stick with and then branch away from as you get better at the game, or whatever your journey is. I'm kind of here for it. So I think you should always start with Green Smite when learning BRIAR, or when you just don't know what else to do. A lot of people ask me all the time, like you, because they see I change often. You know, red gives you more damage and it's slow. So if I'm not worried about their team, I want to send a little bit harder, of course. Blue Smite, I usually take it if enemy team has a lot of spells worth dodging. You could have done it this game, to be honest. Seraphine ult, Yone ult, just outrunning Graves and like Shen taunt and stuff like that. But either way, green is always good. Okay, green always going to do what it's going to do. Your BRIAR, you will be taking damage. Let me turn up the sound a little bit. So yeah, I think in the world that you're trying to just like, hey, I'm trying to learn BRIAR, let me isolate these, you know, these things that happen in every game, these decisions about items. This is what I'd go, and I would go Bork, Black Cleaver, and then Sterix / Death Dance, and then Spear Visage, Guardian Angel every game. I think that it is, you know, just that build alone is, you know, probably top 3 BRIAR build of all time. Bork, Black Cleaver, if you don't know much about BRIAR, has been around since, I think Bork got a buff like 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. And it has been around for BRIAR as the, at least, second best build at all times. Bork, Black Cleaver is too solid on this champion. You never have to worry about it going away because Blade of the Rune King will never leave League. Black Cleaver has always existed too, so let me just tell you guys flat out, this is the build for you if you know, are just kind of struggling in the moment, you don't know exactly what to go. Take Green Smite, Bork, Black Cleaver, and then you, to be honest, if you want to start learning itemization there, that's fine. Don't change Bork, Black Cleaver, change everything afterwards, right? Sterix for Tenacity, Death Dance for Anti-Burst or Armor, and, you know, Endless Hunger, you're feeling yourself, you want to do a lot more damage. That's something that you can do. And then for pathing, right? Because this is something where a lot of you guys do get a little messed up. Thank you for the follow, bro. I think pathing is really tough to the degree that I even made a pathing guide. And when you're ready, head that direction. But for now, I'd say just go bot lane. Bot lane has more fights, more impact on the map, and more gold for you to get. So I think it is super important for you to get good at this. Luckily, we're bot lane right now. It seems like they're going to try us here. So I wonder the target we're going to go for. And to be honest, their support just steps up and takes the death. This guy could play for the smite and auto in this, no lie. He didn't even need it. Tell me that guy's not, I mean, he's living the dream, right? But don't worry about it. We killed their support, and my bot lane gets to continue to do what they do. Now, Graves is likely to get the top grab here, then recall, and then path top down again. Likelihood of him starting red buff is very high, and then going to his Krugs downward. One of the easiest things that you can do to help your tracking is the idea that, you know, we both were at that crab at the same time, right? So what does that mean? That means that we both did the same camps, or at least very similar camps to where we both started at the top side of the map, and then we traversed down. That's where a lot of you guys can kind of mess yourselves up, because you know, you'll see things and maybe you don't, you know, trust yourself, or maybe you don't even know that that's what that means. But yeah, him being at that crab with the same farm as me meant that he basically did the exact same camps. And now we know, or now it is fair to assume that at any point, whatever I'm doing, he's doing the same thing, unless otherwise proven that he's doing something else. So in this exact scenario, we see him at 38 farm with a recall, so he did 24, and then 28, 32, and then we saw him reloading after Krugs. So you know that he did his Krugs, and then his Raptors are up. A lot of info on this map, right? No brain build, but hopefully with this ability that you don't have to think about your build, you can know exactly what he did. Now, you could look for an invade here. He is a camp behind you, but sometimes when you get caught up in that situation, it sucks. Especially prio, right? Priority to walk. If you look at the fight started at their wolves, let's just make an example. Well, they actually have the better walk to that. So they would have, maybe not prio in the sense that, you know, there's a wave crashing, there would be a loss on their end, but they have first walk if you will, and they would get to the fight first. So, not what we want. So we are just taking our full clear there. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about Graves showing topside. I'm going to get here first, and we know that we're here first unless he takes a sacrifice. And here's my get back on this smite, hopefully, where we can go for him, get that one, time it with my auto attack because BRIAR's W gives her AoE autos. He misses his Q. I don't know if he's willing to take this fight anymore. If that hook hit, this guy's just dead, by the way. I think I'm willing to die. Ult her. Ult him. Not bad, we got the fear. I'm going to take the death, but my team will kill. They have a chance to kill. Oh my Thresh! Look at this Thresh, man. This guy is not messing around. But nice, and I sometimes don't know with videos like this, like how much I should really be saying. You know, like the assumption is that if you're playing no brain build, maybe you're newer to BRIAR, maybe you're newer to League. I don't know you. I'm happy to meet you, but I don't know you. And like, is it worth for me to kind of overly explain all of these things that are happening? Well, I just hope that they're useful. But right here, 1,000 damage as a smite. Looks like he chalked up the idea of going for the crab. We don't have to do anything. He is just so cooked. Now, let me talk to you about why I took that fight, okay? It's worth noting why I took that fight and how I knew that I could run at him. Most of it actually just is I was up a level. That's it. His camps are up. Maybe I could have greeted one, but we'll talk about that after. So why did I take that fight? Because without even hitting tab, I know that I had more gold than him, because before that fight bot side, I saw that we were effectively the same KDA. Right, kills give 300 gold, roughly, depending. So I knew that I was at least up money by a little bit. And then I also knew that I used my ultimate on bot side. I knew that I was level 6, and I saw that he was level 5. So the assumption of being up gold and experience was enough to make me just immediately send it. Of course, you do have to think about, again, that priority, that first walk and stuff like that. But I saw my lane positions were pretty far up that my team could get there in time. And at worst, if it started going the opposite direction, I had trust that I could get out of that situation if I find out that, you know, hey, it's going bad for me. So yeah, that was mostly what it was. He wants help right now. I don't have my E. I'm gonna sweep because people like to ward behind this wall. Seems like my support might go for a little bit of cooking here. If he gets that, I might actually walk close enough. Oh my god. I got the stun. Oh my Thresh auto. I'm coming. No way. We're just gonna let BRIAR do her thing. We're gonna use our W2 at the last second. Vlad's not here. This person's alone. Try and juke a spell here. Hit the stun when my team can deal damage. It's just happening right now. Now, I'm actually gonna take my recall right here, and I'm going to run straight at topside. My assumption is that, well, actually, likely, we can talk about that too. I'm going to run straight at topside. If I do grubs, crab, I can path all the way back down with a full clear, and I draw a super efficient line for my farm. I want to be doing something neutral-wise here, mostly just because neutrals are powerful, but they're not worth, like, you know, messing up your tempo. That's its own thing. You always want to be doing things efficiently, and me recalling, getting Blade of the Ruined King, and setting myself up for a very farm-efficient path is very good. The likelihood of Graves being bot side right now is high because he had a lot of farm. He had 58 last time he showed, and so that effectively means that his bot side's more likely to be up than his top side, and that's about it. Because if you saw, right, I had just done these 3 camps, and then we went mid for that play. Well, that means that he also was top side because, right, we've been playing this whole game in this order in which that, you know, we are farming from the same direction. That makes sense? I hope so. What else were we going to talk about? Yeah, so we talked about the Graves fight. That's why I took that fight immediately. And then, you know, when should you pull off ganks? That's like a tough thing. You have to, like, quantify your own strength and then utilizing your knowledge of your own strength, try and figure out like how useful you can be. You can see part of playing BRIAR is that exact thing that happened where, you know, I W'd towards a gank, wasn't close enough, and just accepted it, waited to the next chance. Of course, there's going to be times where that's going to get you killed and your team's going to flame you and they're going to hate you. It's not going to be every time, so don't get bent out of shape. Just got to play the game, man. Nice. Not bad. Grave shooting ult there is kind of crazy. I've played enough Graves to know myself that that would not kill. So now he seems like he's actually, he did dragon. Now it looks like he's pathing bot to top, so he flipped his path. So now we're on opposite sides of each other. The odds of this being warded is extremely high. There's really not much for me to do here, unless I was willing to dive bot lane. I don't think I'm willing to dive Seraphine and Vladimir. They're pretty good defensively, so I'm just gonna go around this angle. I feel like I could be useful if I ulted, but I don't think I need to. He seems to be doing well. Oh, maybe I do. Good try. Graves is likely to recall and go bot side again. So as my Gromp is spawning, right, because I just cleared all my camps top down. Well, remember how I said he flipped his? So that means that he's actually going down here, and that's his most likely to spawn next. I'm going to W towards the minions, because when I W towards the minions, it'll get me close enough to Yone, which is perfect. We got his flash. Flash is a, 5-minute cooldown, so definitely worth to take a trade of my smite, basically. Now, he's likely on his wolves, I would guess, since he knows that he likely can't go to his Gromp here. And this is where we start making the jungle gap come to life, because he's probably there. That sucks. Seems like he tried to do something. Nice. My Thresh didn't want me to try that, but again, sometimes you just gotta know your own champ and kinda, you gotta drive the ship sometimes, man. Oh, he's gonna try and smite steal this, so I'm just gonna buffer ult into him. We have to flash and dodge that, that's for sure. There's a slow coming out, so I'm gonna use my dash right before it. Oh no, so unfortunate. Good try. No lie, I don't think there was much else to do right there. I think we played that one perfectly. Sometimes they're just gonna die, man. It's okay. It's really no big deal. Like they, when you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, if you look at how much money I had spent before that play, I had spent like, what is it, like 4,200? If you look at how much he spent before that, it was like, 3,000, and then, I don't know, maybe like 3,900 total. So in terms of relative strength, you should try and quantify relative strength more so by the items in your inventory and not your KDA, because KDA sometimes can lead you astray, because there's a lot of ways to get money, like, minion waves or plates that aren't necessarily on the scoreboard, and sometimes that KDA thought will throw you for a loop. But yeah, so in that moment, we weren't so insanely different in strength, and I started without, my cooldowns, because I used them on the crab, and he had his support there with ultimate, so, I mean, it's not like Graves himself killed me, right? It's the fact that I had to do things against Seraphine slowing me, dealing damage, and so on, that really turned that over. In a perfect world, you would have liked to see me kill both of them there and look insane, but that's the point of making these videos in high-elo, is that not everything's going to go my way, and it's good for you guys to see that, because it's not going to go your way every time either, man. You're in the growing pains era, I'm assuming. Yeah, you got a lot to deal with, so take it on the chin, man. Now, that Scryer gives them vision of me, so I'm going to channel a recall right at the end of it to make them think that, like, maybe he took his recall there. Maybe he didn't do that. And if this wasn't worded, sometimes I can add up to another play, so it's worth just throwing that in their direction. Going for an invade here, just assuming that this camp was up, and it, was the only thing I really had to do. Seeing Graves bot also helped. I believe next wave we just walk under the turret and we hit it. Nice, I walk at him just to scare him, because this Shen champion likes to outplay you under turret by taunting you. and doing a bunch of stuff like that. But if you just hit the turret, how much worse is his game now, right? Shen wants to taunt you under turret, deny auto attacks, do all that. Oh, well, there you have it. There you have it. Nice. Check the stats on this one. Pretty standard game. We didn't even get to third item, man. What the hell? Nice. Who is this? I feel like I knew this player. It is, dude. This guy has a challenger border. Mobility, I think I don't know what he does. I think he plays like tier 2 or something like that. But I knew I remember the name. Sorry, a tangent. But good damage. We're up 800 gold. Good damage taken. And obviously the rune page cranks. So it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Let's give you another game.